Welcome to learn more about HomeLab powered by Lab Fellows, the world's premier deep science accelerator where we help commercialize high-impact science that accelerates human life. We do that through a 16-week global accelerator program where I'm joined with my friends, exited founders, and active investors to coach startups using a proven playbook efficiently and effectively raise capital from US investors. And we've done that successfully. Over the last 6 years, we've built a $3.3 billion portfolio. My name is Julio De Namuno, and I'm the managing director at HomeLab since inception. I'm a biochemist by training and spent over 2 decades in industry before donning the founder's cloth and starting my own tech bio startup where I raised millions of dollars from VCs across the country, from tech and biotech in places like Silicon Valley, Boston, New York, and others. One of the things that we're excited and passionate about as founders turned investors is that we want to help the next generation of entrepreneurs discover entrepreneurship as a gateway to generating generational wealth to change their lives, their families' lives, and their communities. I'm joined by several team members who will introduce themselves, starting with Alex Fry, who heads up HomeLab Acceleration in Europe.
Thank you for that great introduction, Julio. So my name is Alex Fry, and I am head of Acceleration Europe. I grew up in Switzerland, worked in private banking and asset management with names like Credit Suisse and BlackRock, came to the US, worked in venture capital as an associate for an Israeli deep tech fund, and started 2 of my own companies out of UC San Diego. The first one was a predictive analytics tool for sepsis in hospitals, and the second one was a traditional weight loss drug. I ran both of these companies through the HomeLab programs and was able to raise capital out of them. Stuck around, mentored some of the first teams coming through the accelerator, and as of January of this year, I'm leading our endeavors into Europe. What gets me really excited about Europe is that the deep science is usually undervalued at home. Europe has world-class research in longevity, AI, and quantum bio, but the capital just doesn't match it. The science is ahead, but the money seems to be behind. Another great opportunity is that US investors really want to deploy capital into European companies, but they just can't find what they want. They want to find that hard science, but they don't know where to look. And that's because Europe is very fragmented, there's language barriers, and there's trouble just navigating every ecosystem. One great advantage that Europe has, though, is that it's an early market. It's way less crowded than the US, and there's really room to define each category. And with that, I'm happy to give it back to you, Julio.
Amazing. Keep up the great work helping founders in Europe access investor capital here in the US, Alex. I'd like to also introduce Natasha Kashal. Natasha is an exited founder who joined us as a VC in residence. Last cohort, she started to help us expand as the head of acceleration in Asia.
Thank you, Julio. Asia isn't just participating in the deep bio revolution anymore, it's leading it. Today, the region contributes to over 43% of the world's innovative drug pipeline and 65% of global biotech patents. If you're building in longevity, AI for life sciences, or quantum bio in Asia, this is your moment. The next generation of breakthrough companies will be built here. The question is, will yours be one of them? At HomeLab, we help founders go further faster. One of our Cohort 4 startups, a spin-out from an Asian company, raised growth capital through introductions from our investor network. Our Indian portfolio company, Equilium, has already gone on to raise capital through an IPO. We're also very proud to be working with institutional partners across Japan, Singapore, and India, and a current cohort already brings together founders from India, Hong Kong, and Singapore, apart from, of course, the Americas and Europe. If you're building technology that can redefine human health, don't build in isolation. Build with the people who can help you change the world. Back to you, Julio.
Well, now that you know a little bit more about the team behind HomeLab, let's talk about who we're looking for. We're looking for founders who are building in 3 verticals: longevity, AI, and quantum. We're excited about longevity, which has evolved from a health and wellness space to a more scientific, evidence-based opportunity in the age-related disease space. With biomarkers now discovered, we can better understand and target the mechanisms of aging and potentially live forever. We're looking at AI across all of the frontier, whether you're helping discover new drugs faster or helping in the biomanufacturing and all the minutiae in between, like revisioning documents for FDA submissions. Quantum is wild. We see a lot of biotools who are applying quantum physics, disease diagnostics for astronauts in space, all the way to the brain-computer interfaces. If you are accepted into our program, you can expect an intense 16 weeks. We run weekly capital closing clinics where you access pre-recorded videos in our learning management system taught by me personally, where I am sharing with you the tips and tricks to efficiently and effectively run your next fundraising round. You're joined with your peers in a cohort twice a week for 1 hour each. The first day, you are part of an Ask Me Anything session. This is like a group office hours where we go over and reinforce the lessons learned in the last closing clinic. The second day, on the second hour, we bring in an investor guest speaker who's there to intimately share with you their insights on what makes them tick. Not just their fund and their thesis, but based on checks they've written. What do they look for in founders? What does traction have to look like? And other details that are tribal knowledge that you don't typically get access to as a founder until it's already a know. In addition to this intense coaching opportunity where we give you brutally honest feedback, we surround you with a network of help. We have a community from your peers actively supporting you. In addition, you have access to our unfair advantages. We call that the founder stack. In addition to the learning management system, you have access to scientific publications from a university library from one of our partners, as well as market research tools like PitchBook. And there's so much more. For example, we give you a cap table management tool so you can simulate your rounds, so you can properly figure out the round size and the valuation. And our secret sauce is our network of investors. 43% of our top teams raise from them. We've had the ability to build a portfolio of amazing founders, including folks like Tom Miller over at Iambic, who recently raised at $1 billion valuation. I personally introduced them to Lumina Ventures, who put in millions of dollars alongside other top tier investors such as Mubadala and NVIDIA. We've had a number of successful exits. Amplex was acquired by Pfizer. IPOs from other folks like Equilium. Radionetics, which had a $100 million option to be bought for $1 billion by Eli Lilly, and the list goes on. From a programming perspective, what you can expect over those 16 weeks, we split into two phases. The first is the foundational work. We're helping you really confirm and validate that you're building a VC scalable company and you're going to be able to pass due diligence with the best investors out there. The bulk of the time, over 10 weeks, we spend in phase two. We're helping you actively work your investor funnel. We get in the trenches, we help you think through and build the top of the funnel, work it, and increase conversion rates so you can get that round done in faster time than you could do it alone. Thank you for learning more about the HomeLab powered by LabFollow's Deep Science Accelerator program. To apply, head over to homelab.com and in the upper right hand corner hit the gold apply button, and we hope to see your application in soon.